Well, hello, welcome again to a reading through of Iliad book 16, which I'm going to do fairly slowly, and I'm going to do it in fairly small chunks here. So I got up to line 20, ton de barros denekain pros efface. Now, this is one of the rare instances where the singer, this is Homer, addresses directly one of the characters. So this is actually vocative. Patroklos and Hippu is vocative, and you'll see it's a second person here. So, O horseman Patroklos, groaning deeply, this is a participle, groaning deeply, adverbial, you addressed him, you spoke to him. It's quite a dramatic line, in fact. Homer doesn't generally do this. O Achilles, notice there's only one lambda for the sake of meter. So O Achilles, son of Peleus. The mega, I think, is adverbial. Fair tate, another vocative, but fairly common. It means the best or the bravest, and the mega is by far. So by far the bravest of the Achaeans. Me nemesa. Now that is an imperative, so do not feel resentment. I think that's an imperative there. Do not feel resentment. It's an alpha contract verb, so there's an alpha. It's nemesao, to feel resentment. Do not feel resentment. For such akos, such grief, bebiaken is a perfect. It's from the verb biao, meaning to overwhelm, connected with bia, strength and so on. It means to overwhelm or constrain. So for such anguish, such grief, has constrained or has overwhelmed, might be better here, the Achaeans. Hoi men garde. Notice all the nice particles here. The men, I don't think gets answered. There's another men here, and I'm not, well, perhaps we get something here to answer it here. You often get men by itself in Homer. Sometimes you'll get a det, sometimes you don't. So it's hoi men for they, all of them in fact. Don't forget the particles. Hosoi, as many as were paros previously, aristoi, the best. Ki artai, now this is a bit tricky here. This is actually an epic form from Kami. The iota's gone, as has the mu. It's an epic form from Kami. It's actually, looks singular, but it's actually a third person plural. That alpha in here is known as a sonant, is a hiding as what's called a sonant n, a sounding n. So it's kentai and gets written as keatai. So it is actually third person plural, which it has to be, you can see grammatically here. So as many as were the best, they lie in the ships, beble menoi, from bellow, having been struck, and utamenoi, from utao, and having been stabbed. Bebletai men, now he gives a list of some of those of people who have been injured. So strong Diomedes, the son of Tydeus, has been struck, and Odysseus has been stabbed, from utao. This is there's no augment here, but has been stabbed. It's perfect passive. And Agamemnon, who is famous with the spear. So spear-famed Agamemnon. And also Eurypylus has been struck, catameron, in the thigh. Oisto, again the diaeresis here is for the sake of meter, to give an extra syllable. Oistos is an arrow, so he's been struck in the thigh with an arrow. Tous men, so it's and the iatroi, the doctors, with their many drugs, amphipenontai, amphipenomai is to attend to busy themselves around, so are attending to them. Acheomenoi, this is from the verb acheomai, and we're getting a lengthening here of the vowel, so it's acheomai, meaning to heal. So healing them, or healing their helkia, there's an alpha elided here. Helkos is a third declension neuter noun, meaning a wound, so healing their wounds. So the doctors, with all their drugs, tending to them, healing their wounds. But, and that probably is going with that men, so they're doing that. But you, eplu, this is from the verb pelamai, it's second person singular. Pelamai is often used just in place of the verb to be. You can push it a little bit in meaning, but generally it's just you are. In fact, here it's you were, so it's past tense. So, and this is very strong here, amerkenos. Well, you were useless. You were of no help, O Achilles. Quite a strong word to use. Again, just when he's speaking with Achilles. Me emegoon hutos ge laboi kolos hon suphulases. Now this is may with the optative, so this is a wish. So may, and look at the get, very emphatic here. We've got two gets. May not, in fact, this anger, may it not take then me. The anger, hon, which you are guarding, well, which you are almost tending, which you are guarding. Now this here, you'll notice I put a little alpha here. There's variant readings here with this. It's from an I retais. It's a first declension masculine noun, but it can also be an adjective. It's a bit of an oxymoron. It literally means evil excellence. Some scholars take it, put the alpha, which I do like actually, and take it as a vocative. Other manuscripts, this one here, or the main manuscripts, I think, have an eta here, and are taking this as an adjective. Whichever way you like it, it's up to you. Whatever the commentaries tell you is the best thing to do. I like the alpha here. It's something like cursed in valour. So let not then, in fact, this anger take hold of me, the anger which you are keeping, you are guarding. Either you take it as an anger which is of evil excellence, or whether you take this as you who are cursed in valour. Tisu alos onesetai opsigonos per. The verb here, onesetai, is from onninemi. The onninemi, again, is one of these reduplicated presents. The root of it is on, so onninemi, and you get a linking vowel. So this is literally, it's a question here. So what, so another will benefit, although opsigonos, although he is born in the future, so even of a future generation, what will another man benefit? The su for su, so from you. So what will another person, although of a later generation, benefit from you if, now this is alpha for epsilon here, you get both forms. This is an aeolic form of epsilon iota. You get lots of iolicisms in Homer, so this is the aeolic form of just A. So unless you would ward off Ikea loigon, terrible ruin for the Argives. Nalias. This is ne plus the ele root of mercy. You merciless one. Uk arasoi gepate and hippotopelius udi thetis mete. This is a very strong thing to say to Achilles. The horseman, now this is a nominative despite the ending. The horseman Peleus was not then, was not in fact, to get the get in there, your father, nor Thetis your mother. In other words, you weren't born of these noble people because you won't defend the Achaeans. Very strong thing to say. Glauce de seticte thalassa petrai telibatoi. The grey sea, ticte, imperfect from ticto, without augment, bore you, we'll take it as an aorist, but it is actually an imperfect. So the grey sea bears, or was giving birth literally, so gave birth to you, and the alibatoi, this is a funny word meaning steep or high. I think again the etymology is not totally secure on this one. I think it just means high or steep rocks. Haughty, because the noos toi physoi, your mind is apenes, often rendered cruel. It's literally hard or rough, but probably best to say cruel here. A de tina fresi seisi, the approprian al-anes. So having said all these fairly harsh things, he sort of backtracks a little bit. So he says, if I think this means to avoid. That's right. So if you are avoiding some theopropion, some prophecy in your mind, and your potnia mater, your lady mother. This is a very old word. This one turns up in linear B, potnia. So it's a very old word. And your lady mother, epiphrade, this is a reduplicated aorist from Phrasdo. You come across these in Homer. It's an aorist, but it's what's called a reduplicated aorist. You get a reduplication and plus an augment, and the root's in here, frad from Phrasdo. Reduplicated aorist. So, and your lady mother has spoken something toi to you, par for para, from Xenos. This is the genitive from Zeus. So he's sort of saying, well, perhaps you know more than I do as to why you're not assisting here. Allah, often at the beginning of a sentence or at the beginning of a clause, can often have the sense of come. So others take it here to have the sense of come. So come. The pair here has that sort of funny usage here. It means sort of at least, I think. Proes is an imperative from prohiemi, second person from prohiemi, to send forth. So come, at least send me forth, oak quickly. And at the same time, sorry, no, perhaps along with me, Hama, opasin, this is from another imperative, aorist imperative from opasdo, give me another host, I think for laon, of myrmidons. So send me forth and also give me a battalion or a group of the myrmidons. Ain for ean, if, now just look at, you get cascading accents here. That's enclitic, puts the accent back on that, that's enclitic. This is the indefinite poo. So it's, if perchance I might become some light for the Danans, perhaps some source of hope, some source of light for the Danans. I might just very quickly zip do a bit of that again, just to put it all together. Perhaps starting from up here. So if you are avoiding some prophecy in your mind, and your lady mother has made plain something to you from Zeus, come. So in other words, if you can't do it, come, at least send me forth quickly, and at the same time give me another host, another group of myrmidons, if perchance I might become a source of light to the Danans. Dos, imperative from didomi, so it's used in the sense of grant, often translated as grant. It's an aorist imperative from didomi. So grant, so allow to me, grant to me, and we get an infinitive, thoraxthani. It's an aorist passive infinitive, so to be armed, to be allowed to put on my breast. So to be armed, o moin, this is a jewel from omos, on my two shoulders, ta sa tukia, with your armour. So it's accusative after this infinitive, that I might be armed in respect of your armour on my two shoulders. There's the A. This is the Aeolic form again. So if, now we get a change of subject here, the subject is Troes. If the Trojans, iskontes, likening me to you, aposkontai from ap echo, might hold back, or sorry, might be held back, I think it's passive. If the Trojans might be held back, polymoia, genitive, there's the old Homeric genitive, from war. Yeah, you get this form oio. You'll also see o in Homer, where the iota's disappeared, and you'll also see, of course, the usual u, which comes into Attic. So you see all the forms in Homer, which is lovely. So that was the original form, oio, and then it becomes o, and then it becomes the more common u. So if the Trojans, likening me to you, they might be held back from war, and then the array, the sons of the Achaeans who are warlike. This is connected with Ares, often taken just as an adjective meaning warlike. The warlike sons of the Achaeans, teiromenoi, being hard pressed, being worn out, anapeneusosin, subjunctive, they might draw breath, they might get a breathing space, they might be able to draw breath. And now we get a generalizing te here, can't translate it. It's olige anapeneusis. This is an abstract noun then formed from the verb. So anapeneusis, a breathing space. So it's for little is the breathing space from war or in battle or something. So there is little breathing space in battle. Little is the breathing space of battle, of war. Rea dec akmetes ke kemer otas andras aute. Now a few things here. Akmetes, it's got the same root as this perfect participle here, and it's an alpha privative. So in other words, not being, kamno can mean to be tired. So in other words, it's we who are, so it's going to be we down here, we who are not tired, so we who are rested, we would easily push back men who are tired. This is a perfect participle here, might thrust back men who are tired And then we get a dative of by what means here. This is, now be careful with this, the aute, this is a noun. Aute is the battle cry. It's nothing to do with autos. Aute is the battle cry. So using the battle cry, by means of the battle cry, we might push, this is from Othio or Otho, we might push them, proti for pros, back to the city. Notice the accent on apox, it goes with the word before, from the ships and from the klisiaon, uncontracted. This is genitive. Klisia is the noun, and you can see it's a feminine, and in later Greek that would be contracted, but this is the uncontracted form. So from the ships and from the tents. A klisia is a tent, connected with klino, it's the place where you lie down. So just quickly go do that bit again there. So grant so grant to me that I might be armed with your weapons, or sorry, with your armour, if the Trojans, likening me to you, might be held back from war, and the warlike sons of the Achaeans might get a breather, hard pressed though they are, so because they're worn out. And there is little respite, might be good here, there is little respite from war. Easily, by using a battle cry, would we who are rested, we who are not tired, would we push back men who are tired, this is referring to the Trojans, back to the city, away from the ships and the tents. And that is the next section of book 16.